we're recording. Oh no, social anxiety.
No. Oh, scheiße.
Oh, your German blood coming back to bite you again, eh?
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, by the way, I didn't even realize that you noticed fucking Thomas the Tank Engine creeping on me over here? You see that? That's one of my repairs that I have to make for my fucking children. That just
I see your double dildo machine there.
Oh, yeah.
Right next to Thomas the Tank Engine.
It fits both perfectly.
Yeah.
And it's heated too, so I just crank the dial and
there you go.
warm, dry heat. You know, that's what works best.
Nice dry air comes out.
Oh my God. Jesus. That's
what we like to see.
Sometimes I wonder if we would have been heavily into religion if it would have saved us from who we are today.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah. All right, I have a question, and I know I think I'm asking you a pretty redundant question here, but do you ever find it so trivial if there is like, say, something in your way or something that's on the floor in your room? Do you find it so trivial to not pick that up?
Stomp on it.
Okay, so my example,
I just stomp it in the carpet.
Just mush it, crumbs, just mush it with your toe.
Yep. It's like one of those things called the pestle, mortar and pestle.
Oh,
right?
mortar and pestle. Yeah.
It's pistol or pestle. Pistol.
I think it's pistol. It's not like a pistol.
Mortar and pistol.
But
really?
it's EL, PISTEL, mortar and pistel.
Okay.
Pistel,
like
yeah.
Pastel, like the pastel crayons.
Correct. Yes. But pistol, like you're using a pistol, but with an E, not a pistol, a pistel. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I do that. I mortar and pistol all my stuff into my carpet. So
just finite dust.
Yeah. My carpet is not actually carpeting. It's just powdered shit. Just become, and that's actual shit as well.
My God.
Yeah.
All right, so my example of shit that's trivial that I don't like to like, I find that it's just too exhausting to do is like, so I had a bag of dog food that I have that's down here in my basement, and
bag of dog shit.
So I had just refilled my dog's container of dog food, and then I just chucked the bag, which is still half full, down my 5 stairs, and it stood in the middle of that like hallway to my office down here. It stood in the middle of that for like a couple of weeks. It is at my height, so I literally just have to grab it and put it in the 5 feet that it has to go to. But I found myself over the last 2 weeks walking around it, stepping over it, like maneuvering around it, just because I just didn't tripping on. Yeah, I just didn't have the energy to like pick it up and put it in its spot until I finally got annoyed yesterday and I grabbed it and I put it in its spot. It's like I could have done that. I was busy when I threw it down there, but like that night I could have just walked up and grabbed it and put it. Like, I pass it every single day to like come into my office, and like I just don't know why I didn't like move it. So like I just was wondering if you had anything that you leave, but you just don't have that physical energy. But I don't know why. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know why I don't have that energy.
Not in that regard. What I have is just any kind of surface just builds up with just shit.
Yeah.
Just my surfaces just build up with just stuff.
Yeah.
And it's not like garbage. I'm not putting like garbage and receipts and stuff. It's like just actual stuff, but it just builds up.
Yeah.
And like this stuff just doesn't have a place to go, so it just goes right on my top of my desk.
Yeah.
On the top of my dressers,
Yeah, whether it's receipts or whatever else, like it's
that's what I'm saying. Like receipts and stuff, I throw that stuff all away. It's not receipts. It's like actual stuff.
Interesting.
It builds up.
Yeah. And then you kind of have to, you find like, kind of like what happens in my garage, like on my workbench. I'll take shit out, I'll put it there, and then I'll leave like the tools that I used, and then I'll find like after like 2 weeks, I'm like, I spend an hour of, rather than putting away at that time, I spend an hour of then decluttering my desk because I have to like put everything away that I like took out for a one-time use or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that one does happen in that regard.
So, yeah. It is the festive season, people, so hopefully wherever you are, you're enjoying...
Christmas.
Happy Christmas.
Happy Christmas.
Happy Christmas.
Happy Christmas.
One of the great memes of the holidays. Hey, I think everyone nowadays, this lady who didn't realize when she was saying it, just now everyone in every household knows, how to Happy Chrysler, you know what I mean? Like everyone just knows, like the meme. Yeah, hopefully wherever you are, you're enjoying the colder weather. If you're not, I mean, I guess it's weird for me. It's weird for me where places, and you could speak on this, places that don't get snow or cold, and how they celebrate Christmas. It just kind of weirds me out. Like I just feel like snow and Christmas go hand in hand, and you can touch a little bit on this too because of your time that you spent in California when you lived out there. You didn't always have snow. You had just colder months, but you didn't have.
I never had snow.
Exactly. So it's like, was it weird for you?
Never colder months for me at all either.
Yeah. Was it weird for you moving out there and like going from like our winters where we lived to that kind of temperature and like not having was Christmas strange for the first few years because you didn't have like a white Christmas?
No. Maybe at first. I don't really remember too much. Like, that's 2000. So 25 years ago now, 26 almost.
That was during the height of your drug addiction as well, too.
Yeah. I was just high on meth constantly during that period. So, 10 years old and just constantly shooting up outside of my elementary school. But I don't remember if like I was thrown off or anything by it. I think it was kind of just all the seasons kind of just blend together into one season.
Fair enough.
California, essentially, especially for me, somebody who's used to cold weather, so that when like summer hits and it's 100 degrees out, I'm like, okay, I'm hot. And then when winter hits and it's 75 degrees out, okay, I'm hot. So like, whereas I was in shorts and a t-shirt all year round in that regard, so it kind of just blended all together for me.
Yeah, fair enough.
As opposed to like having actual seasons. And then even moving back to where we live now, we don't really get snow here. Really too much.
It's
every now and then, like this year actually we've gotten a decent coating of snow and it's been cold enough to stick around. Or normally like the past couple of years it's been doing like temperature fluctuations between high 20s to low 40s, and so you'd get that like every other week or once a week, fluctuate. And even if it did snow, it would just all melt away.
And you get that one dump of 6 feet. Yeah, you get that one.
Yeah. Then you get just shit on. Yeah, then we just get shit on, and then and it all goes away within a week again. You know.
I guess that makes me happy. Like I felt, and you can. I guess you said you don't really remember, but I remember us when we were kids. I remember our winters being very snowy. Like I remember like tons of snow piles because we played a lot on snow piles as kids.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I remember it being very snowy, and then like you said, like the more that we grew up, like talk about like a place that like you really felt like global warming was happening, because then like the place that we lived went from being like snow-packed and heavy and genuinely pretty cold to, like you said, the winters were mainly like, I remember it being the one year I took a motorcycle ride because it was 75 or 70 degrees on Christmas Day. Like, and then you go down and you go into the 40s and then it's raining and it's crappy and it's wet and it's muddy. Everything still dies. There's still a fall, but everything is just dead and gloomy and brown and nasty. And then, you get that once in a long while, like I'll speak on this. When we were younger, we went ice fishing a lot with my father, and we went on all the lakes and they were always frozen and we went all the time. And then it felt like as we were growing up, it just became harder and harder to go because the lakes wouldn't actually freeze until like the end of January, early February. It was just a longer time frame to get out on the ice.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. Yeah. I'm happy where I moved because I genuinely enjoy the cold. I know you do as well too, but I genuinely enjoy the cold temperatures. So I'm happy that I have, most of the time we have a white Christmas up here and cold temperatures and stuff. So I enjoy that. It's just, you get away from that when you start to have, fluctuations. And even up here, it's been different. Even the past couple of years, it's felt more of like a mild climate rather than like a harsh winterized climate, you know what I mean? So yeah, well, that's so hopefully everyone's having a good holiday season. Hopefully everyone's enjoying their time doing everything. Drake here just recently returned back from the beautiful country of Japan. Drake, what is a must-have you would say people need to bring with them when they're traveling to a place like Japan?
a must-have,
Yeah.
your cell phone, and that's it.
Okay, so not even any government ID. You just gotta show up and be like,
No, yeah, as an American, no, you
they're
just kind of show
trusting.
up and do your thing, Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
No, I mean, obviously a passport, like besides the
yeah.
basic stuff that you would have to have for traveling internationally in any country, you know, I mean, the most important thing is my cell phone in Japan. So it's traveling in Japan. If you don't know any Japanese in any capacity, you would still have a pretty decent time traveling around. It's not going to like make it difficult. You're not going to like, um, get lost constantly and stuff because everything's done in Japanese and then also in English below it, and they speak mostly in Japanese and then also in English as well on like the announcements and like where to go and things are happening and stuff. So in that regard, you're you're going to be totally fine. As well as like a lot of like locations to eat, their restaurants or excuse me, places to visit and stuff like that. It's all a lot of English everywhere, which kind of surprised me the first time I went. The second
Okay.
time, obviously, I knew what I was going in for, but yeah, so you don't really need too much at all. Otherwise, when I do say you need your phone, there's for the couple of times where something isn't available in English. So when you look on a menu, some restaurants don't have an English menu for you to look at. Which the kind of dope thing is all their restaurants, all their menus have photos of the food, which is dope.
Yeah, that's
Because then
nice.
you could just point to it and be like, oh, bum, bum, bum. But otherwise, if you go through like a machine, because sometimes you walk into the restaurant, there's a machine, you choose your food, and it prints you out a little ticket. Then you walk over and you give them a ticket, and then they prepare it and hand it to you, and then walk away, and that's it. That's the end of the interaction. The machines sometimes don't have an English option. Sometimes they do in the bottom. You can click English, but sometimes they don't. Where like you have Google Translate, and you could just take a photo and boop, it just translates everything that's in
Yeah.
front of you, and it's very very good. It does a very good job of translating everything.
I find the
Just in
pictures are
that regard.
I find the pictures are smart because like a lot of times too, like even if you can read it in English, like you technically like a lot of times you don't know what you're getting. So I think the picture is very helpful with that.
Yeah, no, I think a picture is awesome. And the coolest thing too, what they do out in Japan there is they put their menu out like on the front window of the door with like the photos and everything, so you can just walk up to it, look at what you want, and like, nothing here, and then move on to the next location.
Oh, so you don't have to worry about
So
that
kind
social
of cool.
pressure of like being
Yeah, you
there
don't
and
have to
saying,
walk in
I
and
don't
like
want
talk to them
anything.
like, "Hey, what's going?" Yeah,
Yeah.
you get to decide right at the door if you want to eat there or not. Which I
Okay.
thought was pretty cool as well. Kind of enjoyable. Makes it a little easier to decide where you want to eat.
Do you think your second time going to Japan you had as much fun as the first time, or was it kind of like the initial shock factor was kind of gone and you were just kind of enjoying yourself as not as much, but enjoying yourself as if you've been there before, kind of hitting some new places and stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
It was definitely as fun, I would say. So two different like fun experiences. So the first time I went it was a fun experience, but it was super fun because it was all brand new.
yeah,
Everything was brand new to me.
yeah,
And then this time it was just as fun because I knew what I wanted to go do and I knew how to go and do it easier. So I was able to get more of like what I wanted done as opposed to the first time. You know what I mean? Kind of
yeah.
knowing how it operates and everything and like moving around and stuff like that. So I was able to be a little bit more convenient on my times and stuff.
Yeah.
So
Do you tend to you seem like a person and knowing this from personal experience, you seem like you would want to go off the beaten path in like Japan. Did you go to any areas that were like non-touristy that you found that were like really like still really friendly or still really nice to go to?
oh yeah, absolutely. We went to like a lot of touristy areas, and then we went to a lot of like non-touristy areas as well. Um, Obviously, I stayed in Tokyo and then up in Sapporo, which is the up north there. Sapporo was a lot less touristy than Tokyo was,
Yeah.
but still had some tourists every now and then. But yeah, everybody that I've ever ran across has always been very kind, and whether or not they liked me is a different story, but it's still that outward showed like politeness that they have and like respect and a very private like culture. So it's nice in that regard. Um So yeah, it was super fun. I mean, there are some stores that don't want you in there because you're a foreigner,
Really?
which yeah, which I mean, you're gonna find that a few times, here and there,
I
but
guess that can be applied
it's
anywhere,
whatever,
really. I mean, if
Yeah,
they
I mean,
want
yeah, I
private, if
could
they want
care
the
less.
privacy of someone who's, say, going in there for personal reasons, they don't want you to come in or whatever, too. So
Yeah.
that's
Well, it's like
interesting.
food or restaurants or bars or places like that,
That's fair.
that you're
Yeah.
usually gonna find. Which I mean, whatever, dude. I really don't care. Going to the
Yeah.
next location that is fine with me coming in.
Yeah. It's not like
Doesn't
you're being
bother me at all.
discriminated against. It's just they just have their
No.
preferences, really, and they just politely ask you
Yeah.
to.
Yeah, they just put a sign on the door that says, "Please, no foreigners, entered here." Or they might turn you away as soon as when you walk in.
Yeah.
So
It's not like the sign says no foreign pieces of shit.
yeah, right. No foreign idiot losers. Well, I'm a foreign idiot winner, so
Yeah. Yeah. What can you
I'm
speak
only
on?
1/2 of that.
Stupid. What can you speak to the cleanliness of Japan? Like, what did you find
Oh, it's
about?
amazing, dude.
Is it? Yeah. Is it really
Amazing.
clean? Yeah. They take
Incredibly clean.
they take care of
Obviously,
themselves.
so if you're walking around like a lot of the bar scenes, like the shopping districts or like food areas or the red light district in like Shinjuku at all or anything, if you're walking around that location at like 2 to like 5 in the morning, then you're gonna see garbage and stuff everywhere, because just people get just absolutely piss poor drunk
Yeah.
and then just start leaving garbage everywhere. But they have like cleanup crews that show up at like 5 in the morning everywhere and just clean the shit out of everything. So like,
That's
all
cool.
the garbage is pretty much gone. No gum on the ground. But again, it's just a very respectful society. So it's nice to see that.
Yeah, that's what I've heard too, kind of going through it all and stuff. Is that now? You said you went up north. Did you try a Sapporo beer? Like, did
Yeah, we went to the factory. We went to the
That's cool.
Sapporo
See, that's what I was
factory.
going to ask you. Sapporo is actually one of my favorite beers out of all time. I think it is such a unique flavor and it's very good. That's really cool that you guys went to the factory. That's pretty. Was it huge? Was it massive?
Yeah, that was it was pretty big. They had 2 different factories that we actually visited. One of them we couldn't really go in. The other one we did get to go and kind of go around a little bit of. They didn't take us obviously in the back and like but it was still just a kind of a cool tour, like a little mini museum on like who they were, what they started up and everything. Which I don't know if you're familiar with the story of the guy that started Sapporo.
No, I'm not.
But like this is back in like I want to say like the 1840s or something like that. I don't remember. I don't know the exact date, but a long time ago, And he left Japan and went to like the West and visited all of like Europe and stuff, and found out beer and everything, and loved it so much. He's like, I got to bring this back to Japan, and came back to Japan where he was from and started the first beer company in Japan there.
That's really cool. That's
So
that's pretty cool.
Yep.
It's and I know Japan initially was like really trying to avoid outside influence, but like when you get to something like that it's like how can you avoid how can you avoid beer? You know what I'm saying? Like how can you avoid
absolutely.
Now
beer in Japan is huge. A lot of people like drinking beer in Japan now. Yeah.
What would you say now? Is there a lot of different smaller breweries of like are Japan, from what you've noticed, are Japan citizens, are they more privy to drinking their own style beer, or is there a big wide variety of beers that you found?
There's a decent variety, but they have mostly like their version of a decent variety, if that makes sense.
Okay, yeah.
So like I-96, I believe is what it's called, is huge in like the 7-Elevens and stuff. So most of them like drink that. A lot of that, or a lot of beers are sake and shochu as well.
So you'll have like your Bud Light equivalents and like all your your heavier ones and stuff. And
yeah, I mean you'll have your Bud Lights and Samuel Adams and stuff there for sure as well. 100%. Coors is all over.
Yeah.
So like standard beers are there, but you just have like your Kirin, Sapporo, and a few others that are also Japanese that are just like everywhere else.
Yeah. Okay. That's pretty cool. Now this is all right. I have a question here that's kind of this one's from one of the people in the back. You know what I mean? I just heard them shout it from the audience, so I just kind of
yeah. So it was one of the chatters. Sent this one in.
Yeah, one of the people from the chat sent this in. Hey, what up, chat? So Japan, from what I've seen, and I've watched travel videos and stuff about people going to Japan and stuff, it seems like a very like sexualized society. Like, did that feel like that? Like, is it like when you go to a 7-Eleven and is there freaking sex toys and stuff in 7-Eleven? Like, is it like as not pervy, but like it definitely seems like it's a place that they like to get their freak on. Like, it's kind of, does it seem that way to you? Is that something that you've discovered?
Yeah. Yeah. You can find like sex toys and stuff and like porn in a lot of places if you just are willing to walk down into the basement or like the top floor.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm in this giant 8-story tall building that the entire building is just like a mall. So you just walk, each floor is like a different thing. So you're just walking up it as you're just checking everything out. Like, oh man, this is sweet. I mean, come on, who's ever been in an 8-story like building? And then there's also just 4 buildings down the entire line that are all like that.
Oh, that's
all this
cool.
different stuff.
Yeah.
The top is always porn, and the very bottom has always been porn, is what I found. So you walk down to the bottom, there's these little things that say like 18 with a little circle. Just you gotta, whoa, okay, that's surprising. Okay, I'm gonna turn around then.
So what you're saying is you didn't have any Japanese sex dolls in your luggage?
No. Nope, I'm not allowed to have that.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I get in trouble as well too. I found like there was one guy that I was watching too in his travel video where he came across an abandoned hotel, and literally the hotel was like it had like heart-shaped beds, and like you could like for 25 cents.
It's a love hotel.
Yeah, for 25 cents you could make the bed vibrate, and like you could like order someone to, like, it was just like,
they have chicks that like stand on the side of the road that I mean, most of like the red light nightlight stuff, nighttime, like red light nightlife stuff, is not really foreigner friendly. They want you to be able to speak Japanese. At a decent level to be able to go in and like do a lot of this stuff, So like as a foreigner, if you're gonna try to go there and try to get a lap dance or like even just a strip club or anything like that, you're not really gonna be able to get into any of those places at all.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
So
I mean, but again, you walk by, you see a bunch of these girls on the side of the street. You talk to them and like, okay, you pay them at a certain amount, then you go to a love hotel, and the love hotel you get the room for maybe an hour or 2 hours, whatever you want to pay for, and then you get to hang out for an hour or 2 hours with that girl, and then that's it.
See, and that's what's interesting to me about that whole situation.
But it's illegal.
Yeah.
So they're not actually soliciting that. That's just something that else that happens. They're just comfort.
They just want to hang out.
Yeah, well, they're like comfort is what they they say, like, oh yeah, we're here to comfort you if you're alone,
Yeah.
So,
but aside from like places that you might see in the United States and stuff, if you're soliciting that, you feel probably a lot more confident over there that they're not there to actually rob you or stab you or take your money.
I would imagine probably most, but they have an issue with touts there in Japan now, and it's gotten way worse since the last time. So what they do is they basically like come up to you and they'll target foreigners. Like, hey man, I got some great girls. If you want to come have a good time, come on with me. Follow me. I'll hook you up. I'll get you ready to go. And
he'll get me ready to go. What is he frickin' jacking me off?
Yeah. What they do is they take you to whatever location that's kind of remote, drug you, and then charge your credit cards multiple times.
Oh, gotcha.
And then just leave you on the side of the road until you wake up.
So they do. There is some sort of there's a little bit of crime.
Yeah. So last time I went, and it's all touts, people not from Japan that are doing that either.
Yeah, of course they are.
From like other countries,
because they're disrespectful. They're not like
Yeah, exactly. And so last time I went, I got maybe asked once. We stayed in the red light district, because that's where a lot of the bars are and stuff. And then if you're out, let's say you're out drinking in that area, and then the last train runs at midnight. So if you stay out just past midnight and you're like, oh fuck, now I either got to take a taxi home, which is going to cost a shit ton, or I don't go home,
Yeah.
to my hotel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you stay there, you don't have to worry about that because that's where you'll be drinking.
Drink all
that
night
area,
long.
Yeah, you're just drinking, then you just walk your 15-minute walk back home or whatever,
Okay.
or like however distance you are from it.
Sure.
So we stayed there last time, and I got maybe asked twice by two different touts if I wanted to do anything. This time it was probably like 5 times a night. We stayed in Shinjuku again, and it was like 5 times a night.
Oh wow.
It got to the point to where like when guys would come up like, hey, dude, they'll grab your shoulder and turn you around. Hey man, I got some girls. If you want to come out and check some girls out, come on man, I'll hook you. They'll even like try to grab your hand. I'm like, hey, no hablo inglés. I kind of just look at them like, I don't know what you're saying to me. No hablo inglés. No hablo inglés. And then they like kind of look at me like, oh, and they just turn around and walk away. So like otherwise, like if you tell them, like, hey, man, I got some girls for you, and like you're like, no, I'm good, dude, I'm good. Oh, come on, man, they'll bother you.
Their
for
persistence,
like, for like 5 minutes, man. You just keep saying no, even if you just ignore them and keep walking, they'll walk next to you and blah blah blah. And then they also try to not pick up, but like a lot of the girls that are walking by, the Japanese girls that are walking by, they'll heckle them too to try to get them to come to them to act as a girl,
Jesus.
But it's terrible. Even Japan has put out like speakers now, which they didn't have this last time, as you're walking around Shinjuku, where they have be careful for touts, they will rob you and take your money, blah blah blah. They say that now in a loop over at like every 15 minutes they have it saying that.
Wow.
So I'm like, it's become more of a problem. So that's the one thing. Shinjuku is fun to go visit. But that part honestly ruined it for us.
Yeah, of course.
So next time we decide to go, we will not be staying in Shinjuku. We found out both times we didn't really drink that much because we walk about 30,000 steps a day when we're in Japan.
Yeah.
And we're fucking tired by the end of the day, and we're like, man, I don't really want to go out and get fucked up right now because my feet hurt and I'm tired,
Yeah.
So we ended up just like either drinking a little bit at home or just hitting some place that's nearby, and then like we reserve a day where we don't really do much, and then go out that night,
Yeah.
Just where like if we're gonna do that in general, then we're tired already because we were ready to go home and crash because we're still tired from walking 30,000 steps the 5 days beforehand. So we're like, we just never really drank that much. So I think next time we go, we'll probably not be staying in Shinjuku. We'll probably choose a new area to stay in.
Yeah, fair enough.
Mostly because of, again, the tout issue. It's just gotten really bad.
Yeah, like nobody wants to be heckled like that, like you said. It's just you're trying to enjoy your time,
Yeah.
and like when you have someone who's constantly trying to get in your grill about it, it's like, dude, like I just like, and it is sad, and I'm sure I'm sure they wouldn't be doing it if they weren't getting a sizable amount of money from very unsuspecting people, you know what I mean? So it is sad that they do scam people, but like it just sucks that it's like it especially for a society that's very respectful and very clean. Even their sex workers are very respectful and clean. It just sucks that someone is trying to take advantage of that and and ruin it for people who maybe even I don't want to say are going to Japan to experience that, but if you're going to Japan because you know that you might not get scammed for a sex worker and be able to go to a love hotel for compassion for a few hours, like you're excited for that and to get and then you get told that there's this by this guy that there's this whole group of girls waiting for you, and next thing you know your credit card's missing $1,500. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I wouldn't ever tell anybody to specifically go to Japan for that reason, or even if they're like looking like, hey man, this might be something like I kind of want to do in Japan when I go. Like, not really, dude. You know, because again, like a lot of the actual stuff is saved more so for people that speak Japanese.
Yeah,
non-foreigners. You know, so
yeah.
So there's more of like the stuff that you can do that's kind of like Japanese, like maid cafes and things that are like somewhat sexualized, but not
really?
fully sex work and everything. Like no physical contact or anything like that. They're just dressed like cutesy maids or whatever, or like
Yeah.
or like whatever like theme that cafe is.
Yeah.
And then they like call you master and shit, and they do stuff like that. So
It's kind of like Twin Peaks or Hooters or Tilted Kilt in the States.
yeah, kind of like that. They actually sort of like that.
I'm just really
But,
ashamed that I just named off
whatever
3 like
theme.
sexual based restaurants.
Yeah, I honestly
like
I only
that.
know Hooters. I only know Hooters. I don't know what
Tilted
Twin
Kilt.
Peaks or
I've never been to a Twin Peaks. I just heard about it. Tilted Kilt used to be in Rochester, and it was good food. It was more like, it reminded me a lot of like an Applebee's or stuff like that, like kind of like that kind of food, like pub food style. But they just wore mini skirts and very short, like tied in like a very short blouse that was like tied in a knot. So there was tons of fun there to look at and stuff. And it was fun. It was fun to go to, but it wasn't. The spectacle of it wasn't worth the food that wasn't as good. You know what I mean?
Cost,
like it really.
Well, it's like going to Hooters.
It's gimmicky.
I mean, it was fun when you're in like end of high school and you're like, oh man, like, no way.
Boobies.
And then like then you gotta pay for it and you're like, oh man, this food kind of actually sucked.
Yeah.
And it's like twice as much as going to an actual place.
Yeah. Like
I would much rather have Buffalo Wild Wings than
exactly.
anything related Hooters wise,
Like I went to Tilted Kilt and I got like a half frozen pub pretzel and I was just so like that made the boobs look bad. You know what I mean? Like that made the boobs look ugly. You know what I mean? Like it was just like, oh, you were a 10 when I walked in here, but now you're a 3. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't even microwave a pretzel dog for me. Like
right.
Like, all right, we're going to switch gears here. This is a disclaimer for people in this part of the episode. You can turn it off if you don't want to listen to this part. Just something that is a really intriguing topic to me. I do not condone self-harm or nothing like that, but that is the suicide forest. This is something to me since back in like maybe high school times, reading about the Japanese suicide forest. That was just, it has such an air of mystery to it to me that kind of just like it, I don't know, it draws me to it in a weird way that like I read about it and I reread about it probably every 6 months. It creeps back into my head and all of a sudden I'm fascinated about it. I've reread the wiki tons of times. Like it's one of those places to me. Like I said, I don't condone self-harm. I if people's extenuating circumstances cause them to do what they need to do, I understand that. But man, what an interesting place. And just speak on that in terms of like, did you guys try and go, or were you planning on going at one point, or like what was your thought process?
We had planned on going, so we woke up early one day, went down to the train station because you have to actually take buses there.
Oh yeah,
you can't really take a train there. And then so we went to go buy our tickets, and it turns out that everything was completely booked through in full, and it was booked through for like the next couple of days. So it's something that if you do plan on doing it, you got to like plan it out ahead of time. That like even before like you get to Japan, probably like buy your stuff like at least a month in advance, you know, and to be able to go there and do that. So we didn't end up going and doing that at all. We ended up actually just checking out this pretty cool park that was nearby, and then walking around that, and then just choosing to go do something else.
Now, did you have to pay to actually go into the forest itself? Like, is it like a gated thing, or like how does that like? Is there like?
You just park at a place, or you get dropped off at a place, and you walk to it, and you just walk in.
It's so interesting. I like all the photos and stuff that I've seen of like the actual forest itself. It just has such a weird, captivating look to it that kind of just was like, I don't know. It was just like I don't know. It's always been very intriguing to me, and even more intriguing as to why people find it such a magical place to go take care of that kind of business. You know what I mean? And like, from what I read, it's genuinely out of practice to like disturb anyone who has gone and done it. You know, you kind of just let them be, and I don't know. It just always blew my mind that that's something that is like not coveted. What's the word I'm looking for here? It's almost sacred in a way that it's like you do it here, and that's it. You know what I mean? It's kind of, I don't know, very interesting place.
Yeah, well, it's an interesting culture to where like um um there is a lot of loneliness, and that spurs off these different things like maid cafes or the love hotels or just that line of work. And then that loneliness causes people to go do certain things, so and and since they're also a very private like culture as well, doing that in a location can be a pretty public affair. You know what I mean?
For sure,
So
yeah.
like, especially even if you just do it in your apartments in Tokyo and in a lot of those locations are not very big, and you are packed in there with people above, below, neck, left, right, front, back of you, adjacent to you and everything.
Yep.
To where if you did something in that, obviously you'd be inconveniencing all those people as well. So they just choose mostly to, instead of inconvenience everybody around them, they'll go and choose to do this here. There's even like um, people that just want to leave, just want to disappear. There's companies that you can hire that will come in the middle of the night and move everything out of your house within hours, and then take it to wherever you want to go next, and that's it. And they don't ask information about who you are or what you're
Really?
doing, and they burn everything of where you went. So people just move on and just start new lives just out of nowhere.
That's so
And
wild.
it actually is a word in Japan. I just can't remember in Japanese. I can't remember what that word is
Of
though.
just getting up and leaving, like leaving your
Yeah, yeah, just
family
yep,
or leaving whoever,
yep,
you're
just
just up and
disappearing.
gone.
Yeah, yep, yep,
That is wild, man. Like you could never
yeah,
do that in the States. I feel like you'd be so quickly re-identified from somebody. You know what I mean? Like nowadays on Facebook, you got all these, my husband's missing pages and shit, and like someone's gonna find you
yeah.
eventually, unless you live in a very rural area. Like somebody's gonna notice who you
Right,
are. It's such a different culture where we live compared to that.
right.
That's interesting, and yeah, like I guess touching on that, like it's weird to me. I understand it. I understand going to a private location, taking care of it, and like it's yeah, I can understand. I guess the mindset of it all. It's always intrigued me. Like I find a lot of times, and I read about this as well too. The tourist attraction of Niagara Falls. There is a heavy amount of Chinese individuals who come to Niagara Falls from China and then commit suicide over the falls.
Hmm.
It's just one of those things that it's just such a strange, like, first of all, to hop on a plane to know that like you're going there to end your life, first off, or maybe it just happens in the moment, but like to choose like the drowning in the heights portion of it, like that's like such an interesting aspect of it all to me. Like that, like I guess I could just never get into people's minds about that all, and why it
Yeah,
draws them to do it. You know what I mean?
yeah. I couldn't say. Maybe it's just like the finality of how like that is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I couldn't say it in any regard. I I've had depression and stuff before in the past, but I've never been to the point of suicide or anything like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then also like I am religious as well, so my religious connotation towards it obviously is not that it's something that should be done in any capacity.
Yep.
So obviously, so I couldn't really imagine somebody's mm, feeling or thoughts when they're choosing, as they're going to do something like that. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But
Yep. No,
but I mean,
uh
it's all just like cultures make it very different, as well as like a lot of other stuff.
yeah. No, I agree. Yeah, I like I know you're coming from as well too, like you said with the having the depressive thoughts and stuff before too. It definitely can linger in your mind, but at the end of the day, it's very hard to picture, letting people in your life down with that. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, well, all right, let's switch gears here to something a little bit more positive.
Right. The Well, I can tell you that the whole total of the trip, like pricing and everything,
Oh yeah, let's hear
for
about
anybody
that.
that wants to go
Yeah,
to Japan, like it's very cheap.
you went for
Going
like
to
three
Japan
weeks,
is
right? You were
very
about three
cheap.
weeks.
2 weeks. 2 weeks. Well, it's like 2 weeks and like 2 days is what I did
It felt
technically.
like an eternity,
So
people. I promise
yeah.
you.
So but both times it was under $3,500, I think the last time was, excuse me, around 29, and this time it was about 31
Okay.
is what I spent in total. And then um, this time, as well as last time, I just used my credit card there with no international fees, and I didn't pay attention to what I was spending. I just kind of just bought the world, just spent on everything.
Yeah.
And the right now the yen to USD currency exchange is like very favorable for us, so it's amazing in that regard. Food there is very cheap as well.
Oh yeah.
Like a McDonald's breakfast meal, the McGriddle with like a medium drink and a hash brown was literally like $3.70.
Oh, that's
It was
fantastic.
amazing. Yeah, it is
Yeah.
amazing. It's a McGriddle too, Sacha McGriddle. So that was awesome in that regard. I went. I was. So I mean, price wise, it's very affordable to kind of just go there and do what you want. As opposed to like trying to go to Europe or even
Yep.
a place in America. You know what I
Yep.
mean? You want to go to Florida or California for a bit. I mean,
Yep.
you're going to be paying $3,000 just for the hotel for the 2 weeks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like flights in the U.S. is actually relatively cheap. It was probably about the same price flight wise in Japan from
Oh, nice.
Tokyo to Sapporo. So
Yep.
like here to like California was relative, I would say, like
Yep.
distance wise and stuff. So in that regard, it's similar. Traveling in the U.S. is actually pretty decent, except for trains. That's what we need at trains.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But yeah, I mean, price wise, anybody, like, I fully suggest somebody go do it. It was a life changing experience. We joked about with my friends and I actually this time about, because last time a lot of us had we got back from Japan and we actually had like a post Japanese vacation depression
Yeah.
for like
yeah.
for like 3 weeks or whatever it was. It
Yeah.
was like, oh man, this we just left like this magical place that was
Yeah.
completely different than anything we had ever seen before.
Welcome back to reality. Yeah.
And then now we're back here again.
honking,
this
honking
time
cars and garbage.
yep, exactly. This time it wasn't anywhere near as bad as it was the first time.
Sure.
Going back.
Yeah.
But it definitely everything I think everybody should go and experience at least once. Just an Asian country. It doesn't have to be
Yeah.
Japan, but just go to an Asian country. It just the culture wise just so different. I mean, I feel like if you go to Europe, even though the cultures are also very different there, I feel like they are still similar enough
Mhm.
because America is a European descendant. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So a lot of like all our holidays and stuff like that are all very similar, whereas like Japan, it's completely different.
So I feel like in terms of Japan, I think it would probably be the most, like you had stated in the beginning, probably the most English friendly for besides like the Philippines and stuff too, because I know the
surprisingly, a lot of locations in Asia are very English friendly.
Yeah, I know the Philippines are as well too. A buddy of mine that I used to work with before I switched professions, he's from the Philippines. He's from Manila, and he's spoken about how like, especially Manila area, because it's been under U.S. occupation for so long before they switched off to be their own country. Like it's very friendly for English people.
I mean, Singapore's second language is English. That their actual language.
Yeah.
South Korea has tons of English everywhere.
South Korea,
obviously, China is very English as well. Everywhere you'll see English everywhere. They even have like in like playgrounds for children, they have the A B C D E F G that like kids can play along to and stuff. Taiwan, obviously, it's super. Again, super English everywhere. Yeah, it's Vietnam, super English everywhere. Vietnam loves America. It's crazy about everywhere, because obviously going to Japan, I also have like friends that are from these other countries or visit these other countries often as well. They tell me, yeah, dude, English is everywhere in Asia.
Yeah, that's nice.
To where like you could, it's never gonna hinder you if you only know English in Asia, but if you know the other country, if you know the country's language, it'll help a little bit.
Yeah,
but it's
for
never
sure.
going to hinder you. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
for sure.
It's never going to like make the trip like, oh fuck, this sucked. I didn't know where to go, what I
Yeah.
was doing. You know?
Yeah, it's not like going to Ukraine or Romania or something where you don't even know the language, or Sweden. And you're like, oh god, like I'm sure Sweden's probably pretty U.S. or pretty English heavy too, but I'm sure.
Yeah, well, again, like all of those locations, like Europe and stuff, is all super English heavy as well.
For sure.
You know,
Yep.
a lot of like, so it's crazy to talk about, but a lot of people, you know, in other countries, all have to take English as mandatory.
Yeah, it's interesting to me that
so
it's
like
mandatory.
we have mandatory second language here, but we
Yeah.
don't fucking have mandatory second language, right? You know, come on.
Yeah, I remember I remember like 2 words from French class. Like that's it. Like I don't remember anything at all. You know. All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's all right. Tell me about the. And I know you're like size wise you're pretty good at being able to enjoy the flight and stuff. How were the flights? Like at the end of the flight, you're like, are you like, fuck, get me off this thing, or like was it pretty comfortable throughout? Like how do you occupy your time in an airplane flight that's what, 12 hours? Was it 12 hours, 13 hours? How long was it?
Yeah, it was like 11 hours there, 9 hours and 40 minutes back.
So how do you occupy your time?
The flights were great. Honestly, you just get up when you want and sit down when you want. They give you 2 meals. They turn the lights down low, and you got a whole TV in the back of the screen on the back of the person's chair. You can watch movies on and stuff. Actually, the entire flight back, my buddy and I watched Mission Impossible because he's never seen it. So we watched episodes or movies 3 through 6.
Oh wow.
No, 2 through 6. So we watched 2 through 6.
Yeah,
watched a bunch of that. So he's got 1, 7, and 8 to watch still now, which he says he's absolutely going to. He's never seen it. I'm like, dude, it's one of my favorite franchises ever in the world.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So I mean, we did that. So I mean, I loaded up a bunch of TV shows and stuff on my phone. Never even watched them.
Really?
Never even watched them. If you can sleep on the flight, sleep on the flight. But I usually can't sleep on flights.
No, what keeps you from that?
I don't know.
Do you think it's a vertical position that you're sitting in, like the upright seat, or
maybe potentially? But I've fallen asleep sitting down before. But I mean, I was also back when I was working like 65, 70 hours a week.
Yeah,
I would sit down
when you're collapsing. Yeah,
So. Start work at like 2 a.m. I wouldn't get done till like 5. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
there's a lot of people who've been in that position that you've been in, where you get home with a chair, and that chair, you're still in your work clothes, and you're just like, you have that.
Yep.
That
I'd
nap.
get home, turn on fucking Avatar. Be gone.
Oh, that's funny. Well, already. Well, any other tips or anything from Japan that you think people would want to know about?
Yeah, have fun. You don't have to go crazy packing stuff. It's a first world country. When you get there, stuff is cheap. You can go. You can buy new. You're gonna buy new clothing, underwear, and stuff there. T-shirts, sweaters, all that stuff is incredibly cheap in Japan. I bought this dope ass fucking Gengar sweater, and you want to know how much it cost me?
$25.
$12.
Oh my god!
Yeah, socks, dude. A pack of 10 socks, dude. It was like $2.50.
That's great. Yeah.
Seamless silk underwear, $3. It's all quite cheap there. So pack light traveling to, bring space traveling back. Yeah. I bought a whole suitcase.
I was going to say, you could probably buy a suitcase for your travel.
I bought a suitcase there for $7.28. I bought a suitcase there and then filled that suitcase up
with all your shit. That's cool.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, it's like, it might not always be cheap like that, but as of right now, the past couple of years, the US dollar to Japanese yen has been pretty strong.
Did you buy any sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say it's even that's all of Asia as well. The US dollar is strong in all of Asia.
Did you buy any Japanese Pokemon cards while you were there?
I won a pack of Japanese Pokemon cards from a claw machine.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
It was pretty fucking sick.
Did
Yep.
you bring them home with you?
Oh god, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's
Yep,
neat.
I got those. My happiest thing I found and bought was I found like a secondhand kimono shop. So I got the full attire.
Really?
Which is super cool.
What did that cost you?
It was like $83.
That's even that. Like you'd think like that would be like
so when I say
$500.
$83, so when I say $83, I have it's called a junbei, which goes underneath.
Yeah.
Which is like a kimono that goes underneath. Then I have my actual kimono that goes on top of that. Then I have the kimono belt that wraps around your waist.
Yeah.
Then I have a Haori, which is like a coat that goes over top of the kimono and is open. You just have like a little string side to side here like that. Then I have what's called hakama, which is like pants that samurai used to wear that goes over top of your legs, and you tie that down to your waist as well. And then I bought a hantan, which is actually I'll show you that. Hantan it's a giant like
Oh, that's cool.
It's padded thick winter. It's a winter
Yeah.
jacket that goes over top of the kimono there.
Wow.
Super fucking comfortable, man. Bought that guy. I bought split-toed socks, and then I bought the shoes are called junbei. I'm sorry, the junbei for shoes, the split-toed shoes as well.
Yeah.
Bought that also. All for $83. So I got the world.
Insane. Yeah.
Like I got
insane.
I got the full set that you can get.
Yeah.
The full set, like everything, from underwear straight up to the top,
And that's probably $500 in the States, like easily. Like
yeah, I've been seeing on eBay like $500 to like $700.
That's crazy. Yeah. See,
like
so
the
there you
whole
go.
thing,
If you guys want cheap stuff, travel and go do it yourself rather than get it on eBay. It's you're saving.
No, absolutely, yeah, 100%.
That's pretty cool. Well, good. That's fun. So, that's it's always been an intriguing area. Obviously, it's a beautiful area, beautiful scenery and stuff too. It's hard to beat. Well, good deal. Well, we'll be back for another episode, folks. We're gonna try and get some more in here. We'll hopefully get to a Christmas episode as well too at some point.
Yep.
You guys enjoy the rest of your evening, day, morning, wherever you're watching this. Enjoy it, and we'll catch you on the next episode.
Peace.